Depth of field is the distance between the nearest object in focus and the furthest object in focus. When it comes to video games, the depth of field serves many purposes, whether it's for gameplay purpose, for example, the motion tracker focus mode in Alien Isolation, or for other cinematic purposes that serves the storytelling of the game. But the depth of field can have a pretty significant cost on the performance of the game, since the scene is rendered multiple times only to achieve the DOF effect. You can see from this photo that we can have different depth of fields. The depth of field is always affected by three properties: aperture, focal length, and focus distance. Aperture is the opening in your lens. The wider that opening, the shallower the depth of field is. Focal length also affects the DOF. The longer the focal length, the shallower the DOF. The focus distance: the closer to your object, the shallower the depth of field, and the further away, the deeper the depth of field. Let's hop to Unity and add the depth of field effect. Go to the post-process volume, add effect, then depth of field. And as we discussed, the depth of field effect has these three properties. We can debug the depth of field effect using the post-process debug component. Go to debug overlay, then select depth of field. You can see that all the scene become red color. This is because the debug overlay draw what's in focus in a red color, and the less the red color is, the more out of focus on that area is. When we go to the post-process volume and start adjusting the values, you can see that the focus range is changing in real time. Now we are going to do some exercises on the depth of field effect. Let's say we want anything before these neon lights to be out of focus. One way to achieve this is to use shallow focal length and deep aperture and focus distance. For the focus distance, we can use 20 and 22 for the aperture, and for the focal length, we can use 100, and for the max blur size, use small. The max blur size determines the maximum radius of the bokeh. It also affects the performance. The larger it is, the longer the GPU time is required. Disable the depth of field debug overlay from the post-process debug component. Now, let's do the opposite. Anything after the neon lights have to be out of focus. We can achieve this by inserting shallow values. 3 for the focus distance, 5.6 for the aperture, 80 for the focal length, and finally, for the max blur distance, select very large. Lastly, let's do a deep depth of field. For that, we can use 100 for the focus distance, 22 for the aperture, and 14 mm for the focal length, and let's use a small blur size. This is it for the depth of field effect. See you in the next lecture.